Hi, you guys. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We're so glad that you were here and able to make it with us. Hopefully, we will be able to get my friend Cecil from CDW on the phone today. I'd love for you guys to meet him. He is an account manager at CDW, and he's a great guy. Such an incredibly helpful person to know. And he asked me to set this up with you guys today so that he would have a chance to meet you and we would have a chance to share some new Google tips and tricks with you today. And we've got a couple of things I think you're really going to be excited about. And also, the newest member of the friEdTechnology team is here, and that is Jessica Powell. And I want to introduce her to you also. Jessica, could you say hello?
Hi, everybody.
There she is. Thanks for joining, Jessica. And Jessica will be moderating the chat today. So it's really, really helpful if you are watching this on YouTube to keep in mind that you can control the flow of the conversation, ask any questions you have, get any links you need by adding information to the chat. So just don't forget that that is a possibility for you too. All right, so what we're going to do today is take a look at some Google tools that Jessica and I both know you guys are really going to be interested in and want to learn about. And it looks like Cecil just rejoined. Cecil, can we hear you now? I think you could always hear us. There you are. Yes, thanks for joining today. So great to hear your voice. Can you tell can you tell everybody, Cecil, what you do at CDW and what your role is? Right. So you and I just talked recently when I was in Chicago at your office, and I found it so interesting to find out from you that you actually are a former educator. And so it's such a unique opportunity that your customers have to work with you that you now know this side of it, the CDW side, is the largest hardware reseller in K-12 in the United States. And then also the other side of this, what this looks like as an educator inside an educational system. So I think your customers are so lucky to have you. And I told you last week you're the first account manager who's ever asked us to do a webinar with you. So I'm really excited to hopefully even show you some new things and hopefully your customers some new things too. So all right. Well, we made some promises today, and we're about to fulfill the first one. And the first one is that we're going to talk about locked quizzes. So while Jessica is pulling up that presentation and sharing her screen, I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of background about what locked quiz mode is, because it's something that teachers have been asking for years and years. I mean, I think ever since I showed the first teacher Google Forms in my career, teachers have wanted to know, how can I make sure that kids don't cheat during a quiz? I want to be able to put a form up there. I want to be able to have my kids work on a quiz, and I do not want them to be able to go out and Google the answers. And Google has now solved that problem. And so Jessica has made some screenshots for you so that you can see exactly what that process looks like. We can't actually show it to you live, which we would love to do, but we can't do that because it's going to lock us out of everything that we're in. It won't allow us to have a Hangout open and show that. So Jessica, I'm going to switch over to you, and will you show us locked quiz mode?
Sure will. Can you guys hear me now? Sorry.
Yes, yes, we can
Okay,
hear you. So screen
great.
share with us too, though.
Yes, I will. Okay, so we will share the screen. Can you see this, Amy?
Yes, I can. Looks good.
Great. So when you're making a locked quiz and you want to give it to your students, really it's a combination of things. You want to have Chromebooks, you want to be using Google Forms turned on like quizzes, and then you want to push the quiz to the students through Classroom. Is that how you understand it to work best, Amy?
Yes, absolutely. And I tried this. We have a video on our YouTube channel, and like you found, I couldn't screenshot it because you're locked in, but I did film it with my cell phone. So if you want to go back later and look at this on our YouTube channel, I do go through the whole process live on there so that you can actually see step by step what to do to create one of these.
Yes. So I went ahead this morning and opened a Chromebook and have a quiz that's created from a chapter quiz for my course. And I went ahead, and when you're working in Google Forms, at the very top right, you probably see it. It's a little gear at the very top. You can, when you click on that, you have the ability to change the settings on your form, and you can make it a quiz. So that's what this screen is showing you, is just how you make it a quiz. And because we have locked mode in our domain, in the friEdTechnology domain, we have the ability, as you see here, to turn on locked mode. So it's just a real quick button push inside of a Google form. And once you've got your form set how you like it and you've saved all those settings, now when you go into Google Classroom and you create a new assignment, you choose to create a quiz assignment and you just attach the form from your Google Drive. So just like you normally would before the invention of locked quiz, you just push the form out to your students through Classroom. And you'll notice, you see right in the middle there, there's a button that says locked mode on for Chromebooks. And you toggle that on, and when you hit assign, it becomes a quiz. And you can't see, this is where we had to switch over to our pictures from our phone. You'll notice my screenshots were disabled. You can see that in the bottom corner. So at this point, whenever the students click on the quiz, it says locked mode is on, and it gives them the same options to take the quiz as normal. I thought it was very interesting, Amy. Whenever I was looking at the quiz, I wanted to just close it down, and I got this message, so I took a picture of it. So as a student, if I close the quiz, my responses are not submitted, and if I open the quiz again, my teacher gets notified. So that was pretty cool.
It is very cool. So you just made me think of something, Jessica, while you were talking, and that's that if you don't see this in your school district, you can sign up for this or ask your G Suite administrator to sign up for this. Most of the time, that is your tech director. And we actually have a short URL for you to use to sign up for the beta program of Locked Quiz Mode. And I'm just going to read that out to you real quick, and then we will also put it in the description of the YouTube video. So it is fried.tech/locked-quiz-beta. So locked-quiz-beta is going to get you to the page where you need to go to sign up for the beta preview of locked quiz mode. Now, eventually, everybody will have this. But right now, in order to see it, you would have to sign up for the beta and be selected for it. But a lot of districts do have this who have signed up, so you can get it as a school district.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think it's a big benefit to teachers. I know that it's something that everybody's going to want to have, and so is the next tool that we're going to look at today. But I want to give Cecil a chance to respond. Cecil, did you know that that was possible, locked quiz mode on Chromebooks? Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. So it's another exciting thing for you too, Cecil, because districts actually cannot use this unless they have Chromebooks. It only works on Chromebooks. And so I mean, I personally kind of like that because I think everybody should buy Chromebooks. So I think that helps you and me both, and I won't complain about that at all. Yeah. Yeah, I wish they'd make everything only work on Chromebooks. That'd be great with me. I'm about to show you something too in a few minutes on a Chromebook that is gonna blow your mind. I mean, it's crazy that this works on a Chromebook, and I really feel like no matter who you are out there watching today, you're about to see something that really knocks your socks off that works on a Chromebook in a few minutes. But I'm going to make you learn something about grading papers in English first before you do that, because we all know an English teacher who is losing their mind trying to keep up with grading papers. So even if you are not one of those people, if you know and care about one of those people, then please share this video with them. Make sure that they see this, because Jessica and I are both former English teachers. And I can tell you, it is the most brutal job I've ever had in so many ways because of the grading. And this is another thing that teachers have been asking about for years and years and years and years. And that is, how can technology help me stay on top of giving feedback to students that's good quality feedback without eating up all of my nights and weekends. And for a long time, I've been showing teachers how to use tools to make more of that activity. So using Screencastify to provide feedback, other things like that. But this is kind of a new tool that has just come out. When would you say, Jessica? Just a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I would say maybe about 3 weeks ago I saw it first launched.
Yeah. So, well, and you've been telling me about it for a long time. As a matter of fact, you're the person who taught me about this originally. So, the tool that we're about to show you is called RaiQ, and it's from a company called Text Help that we work very closely with. And we really love this company. And Kay, who works for Text Help, lives in our area. So, we get to learn about all the latest and greatest stuff from her all the time. And originally, this was an add-on. In fact, when I go to my add-ons, you can still see it here. So there it is, add-ons, RaiQ, and I can, I could have used it through here, but this is no more. Don't try to get it through add-ons. It now is an extension. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Chrome Web Store. And if you don't know another way to get there, you can always just Google it, Chrome Web Store. If you're using your Chrome browser, you can use this button we call the colorful waffle up here in the top left. And then you're going to be looking for RaiQ inside the Chrome Web Store now. So now it is an extension that you're going to install into your browser. And I think you can probably see where I am pointing in my browser there to the RaiQ extension. So once you get it installed, you'll see it up there. Now I have got an essay open, and this is a real essay written by a real student. And what we're going to do is we're going to use RaiQ to evaluate this essay. So when I open it up, I'm going to select what grade level this student is in. And in this case, this was a senior student. I'm going to select what genre the essay is in, and it was a narrative. And then RaiQ is examining this paper now. So it's already started examining, and I think you can see I'm hovering my mouse over this misspelled word, grease, and you guys see how it is underlined in yellow, which matches this yellow color right here. Here's another spelling error. So there's one spelling error, two spelling errors, three spelling errors, four, and you can see it counting those. It's found two things that it thinks are grammatical errors. Here's one right here, another one right here. And all you English teachers out there know it's YOU apostrophe RE. So there you go. And so you can see that it's found errors and it has color coded them. Now, if it's wrong, I can change it. So if maybe the writer has made a decision to use a colloquialism or whatever, and we want them to be able to do that, then we can clear the error. But if it's right, then it just saved me some time marking all this stuff. All right, Jessica, am I missing anything so far on this?
I think so far that's pretty much the best parts of that tool. I will say I did hear that they were going to add some more types, some more genres of writing to this beyond the narrative and the expository and I think, what's the third one, Amy? The opinion. There you go. So anyway, I heard they were going to add more. So that's the only thing I would add to that.
Okay, cool. Yes, and I've heard some things about the rubric that we're about to look at too that are exciting. All right, so now we're going to continue to the rubric, and it's got a built-in rubric right now for these different areas: focus, exposition, organization, plot, narrative techniques, and language. And what we can do is go through here and we can, first of all, we just see kind of the highlights. If I want to look and see what does it mean to be on grade level at 12th grade for focus and exposition, then I can expand this and I can read, and that can help me make a decision about whether this essay is on grade level, above grade level, or whatever. I'm going to mark it on grade level here, above here, and grade level here, and language approaching, because I don't know if you saw, but it rated his vocabulary actually as below grade level. So I'll go ahead and do that just so you can see what the tool does. All right, so now I'm going to continue again, and it's going to give me an analysis like a chart, a graph thing here, and it lets me give him some feedback. So I would say, Great title. It's one of the things I love about this paper. It is real student work, and I love this title because it has a double meaning, and it was something we had worked on in class that this student chose to do. He did a good job using his quotation marks. That's another thing that we were working on, and dialogue. So I would just write some text to my student here, and then I'm going to save this. The document's now been scored. And you saw, I think, I shouldn't have clicked on it so fast. It says you can rescore at any time. But here's the part where if I could hear you, you would say, you would like gasp or something like that when I show you this next part. Okay, so I'm going to click insert and then watch what is going to come into Manny's paper on the left-hand side. So now this is Manny's paper. Here is all of the information that I have essentially either allowed to be there or chosen to be there. And if I return this to my student through Google Classroom, this is now a part of his paper that he can now see. And now I got to ask you again, Jessica, did I miss anything there?
No, I think that is the most exciting thing to me. I love this little graphic. I think, first of all, in language arts, how often do we have a chance to teach students to analyze graphical data? But this is so relevant to them and so perfect of a crossover activity for us to just kind of take the time to read it and look at it and what does it mean?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, if there's any English teachers out there watching today, then they're happy that they came. I can tell you that for sure because it's amazing. So the thing that I have heard about the rubric is that there's going to be some either more rubrics added, different rubrics, or you're going to be able to make your own, upload your own, or change it. Jess, have you heard that same thing?
Yes, that's the kind of the word that I was hearing before they launched the extension. So I think that's probably still coming.
Yeah, that's really exciting. So AP teachers, don't despair. We know you have to use the AP rubric, but hopefully this at least gives you a starting place. Maybe you can use this for daily writing. I know you can't use it for your AP practice exams, but hopefully there's a use in this for you. And the rest of you guys, give yourself a break. The learning and writing does not happen during the grading process. It happens during the writing process. The more students are writing, the better. And this gives you a way to give some feedback without giving up all your nights and weekends. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Jess, do we have any comments or questions on the YouTube video right now?
So far, I'm not getting any specific questions about the tools, although I have heard from a couple of folks that they can't hear you, Cecil, when you're speaking. So I don't know if there's some technical spot shooting we can do, but we'll work on that.
That's We can hear you just fine. That's super weird that they wouldn't be able to hear you. Cecil said, "Can you hear me now?" And I said, "Yeah, you sound great." That's so weird. All right, well, we're going to get this worked out next time for sure. Yeah. Yeah, just in case you guys didn't hear that, Cecil said he wishes he had that when he was grading papers. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just really incredible what has happened now as a result of this.
Absolutely.
Okay. Jessica, can you see my Jamboard screen right now?
I can see a darkened screen, but I do see Jamboard kind of in the background. I see the menu of Jamboard.
Okay, great. So if I click on this now, you're looking at my blue menu on the left-hand side.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so this is the final thing that we have brought to show you guys today, and this is the thing I said I think is going to knock your socks off. Now, I have to give you kind of a little lead up to this. So um, it's this is the hardest part of understanding this to me. So Jamboard is a piece of hardware that we don't know any schools that even have this piece of hardware. Schools have interactive flat panels of all different varieties, but not the hardware from Google called the Jamboard. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the software that is called Jamboard. So I'm going to show you one way that you can access it, and that is to just open up your web browser and go into your web browser and type jamboard.google.com, and this will take you to the software called Jamboard. But here's the thing. When you go into the software called Jamboard through the web like this, you're not going to see all of the features that I'm about to show you. So once I show you this, you're not going to probably want to use it this way. What you want to do is you want to get the Android app for Jamboard. So some of you guys may know that now on Chromebooks, you can get the Google Play Store. And the Google Play Store is what you have on your phone if you have an Android phone, and the equivalent of it in the iPhone world is the App Store. So you need to install Jamboard through the Play Store in order to see what I'm about to show you. And this is something, if you have school district managed Chromebooks, your system administrator can turn on Jamboard and get this going for you. And you can also do it right now if you have an Android phone and you have the app on your phone. So I'm going to open up the Jamboard app, and hopefully that explanation made sense of how this is different from going to it through the web. And I'm going to open up this jam that Jessica and I just wrote our names in here. And what this is a whiteboard. It's an interactive space, a collaborative space. We could have all of our students in here. We could have a group of students in here. This works inside your G Suite domain so that it's all protected and has the same, revision information as other Google tools do. And it's a whiteboard space. But wait, there's more. I feel like a TV salesman right now. So of course you can come in here and you can select a color and you can write, using this tool, which is the pen. So I can just write. That's not all that exciting. We know lots of tools that do that. We have some other different sorts of brushes that we can select and things like that. All right, not that exciting. I know you're not that impressed over that. The next thing I'm about to show you is when it gets impressive. So I'm going to change the color so you can really see what's going on. So the next tool I'm about to show you is handwriting recognition. Now, I know you've probably seen other boards or devices that have this before, but I don't think you're going to say you've ever seen anything that's as good as this one is. So I'm just going to write my name in cursive. And yes, if you're in Texas, cursive is back. Just came back last week. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's back. So you saw I just wrote my name pretty messy there, and it transcribed it. Let me try friEdTechnology. Oh no. Jess's microphone's muted, but she's in the room next door, so I can hear her. And she said, "You're not seeing the Jamboard," which is really devastating to me.
I know you've been doing a great job presenting it, and they're just telling us in the chat they're not seeing it. I'm so sorry.
Are you seeing it, Jessica?
I'm not seeing it on the YouTube channel. I'm only seeing it on my screen on the Hangout.
Can you switch to this then?
I
see it on your screen?
I am switched to it.
Oh, and it's still not showing you.
Yes.
Oh man, y'all are not going to love this like I do if you don't see it. It's not going to be the same. Okay, let me try again to see if I can switch over to it. So I'm going to stop presenting and go back and try presenting again, because we just tested this right before we got on with you guys and just could see it. And so we feel like this is possible. So let me try again. I'm going to do entire screen and share. And now I'm going to open it back up again. And do you guys see it now? Can you answer me on YouTube? Okay, that is super weird. What if you can see it, but it's grayed out. I wonder if this is because it's a Play app that you're not seeing it. You know what I'll do, you guys? I will record this when we get off this call so that you can see what I'm doing and have it not be grayed out. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know why it's not working outside of the Hangout, but this is a fairly new tool, and maybe that's why it's not showing. So can you all still see, though, like the grayed out version of it? Because I'm going to keep on showing you what it does so you can go test it. No, you're just stuck right there. I may just have to go to it on my main screen and show you what I'm seeing. All right. Okay. So Jessica, this is a button you were looking for right here. So there's down arrow and then show and broadcast right there. And that's what made it show up. So do y'all see it now?
That's totally my fault.
Oh, it's okay. No problem. We got it. It's okay. Here we go again. We get to do all the exciting thing again. So I'm going to delete this, what's here. So see, I'm holding it with 2 fingers actually and dragging it down to the bottom, and that's deleting. All right, it's really okay because I get excited every time I show this to somebody, so it's just another opportunity for me. So there we go. All right, handwriting recognition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, scribble my name like that, and it's going to immediately turn into the wrong text. Let me try again. One thing you do have to do, you have to write pretty fast. I have a little one in my life, my goddaughter, and we have an interactive board in the office, and she loves to come and play with it. And it's made her write faster because she initially she couldn't write her name fast enough to have the letters appear. So she's getting faster and faster at writing her name, Emma, and having it appear as text, and that's really exciting, I think, in improving her fluency on that. All right, tell me you guys are seeing all this now, right?
They're still saying they do not see it.
Oh my gosh.
But it did change on our end. It is brighter and it is showing that it's broadcasting, but I don't see it on the YouTube video either.
All right. Well, I will switch then, and I promise I will post a video of this on YouTube so you can see, but I will go back to sharing my screen and I'll describe what I'm talking about over here on the screen that I know that you can see. So I'm going to go back here. You're seeing this beyond the red pen, and I'll show you the web version of Jamboard. And I feel pretty confident that you're going to see this. So I'm going to go to jamboard.google.com. Okay, I just had a major moment just happened in my brain. If I go here and start it, and I can probably still operate it through the app on my Chromebook, and then hopefully you'll be able to see it through this screen.
They are seeing it through that screen. The YouTube video is caught up now.
Okay, so you guys are seeing a blank Jamboard right now, and I'm writing just with my mouse my name, and that's what you're seeing, right? So I'm going to share this now with my account, which is my Gmail account, where I have got the Jamboard app installed on my other computer. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you what the app does. And so if I just show you the web version, you don't really see what the app does. So hopefully that's clear why I'm even like taking the effort to do this, to make sure that you see it. So are y'all seeing my scrawled name there on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I mean, it's not all that exciting yet, but hopefully it's about to be. You know what's the most stressful thing in the world is not being able to get something with technology to work. Anybody ever experienced that before, or is it just me? I think. Yeah, Cecil has had his own struggles today with technology. All right, I am going to join this jam, which I suppose you could too if I allowed you to, but I'm not going to because I got enough stuff going on already. I really, really do. So when you install this in your domain or allow this to be accessible in your domain, you're going to be able to control this through your admin control panel like you do your other Google tools. And that's pretty cool too. I can tell you though, it's not like the most stable, like functional thing I've ever seen in my life. It still has got a lot of kind of questionable stuff going on. Like right now, I'm having quite a bit of trouble with it, obviously. So I'm gonna chat this to myself. Real story behind the scenes right now. Sometimes you can chat things to yourself and be able to join somewhere. So what this Jamboard is going to let us do also on our Android device, and I learned this from a teacher who probably doesn't know that she taught me this, but a couple of weeks ago, I was doing a presentation in Allen ISD, and this teacher on Jamboard, and this teacher told me, kind of stopped me, and she said that in her previous district, she had had access to it, and she used it every single day. And I had to ask her, like, how did you use it every single day? Like, how did that work in your classroom? And what she did is she used the app. So on the version of it that I've been trying to interact with you on, the app one, it has a button down here at the bottom that is going to let you add files from your Google Drive. You can't see it on this screen because this is not the app. This is the web version. If you access it through your phone or a Chromebook with the Google Play Store, you're going to be able to see that option. The other option I was showing you, or trying to show you, thought I was showing you, is right down here, and there are 3 more options added on that device. The first one is text recognition. That lets me write and then it be recognized as text. The next one is shape recognition. And that one lets me draw a rough shape and turns it into a perfect shape. And the third one is auto draw. And you can look at that, not within the context of this, because we're looking at the web version. But if you look for auto draw on the web, you'll be able to experience this part of Jamboard right now. Now, here's another exciting thing about this that you can use now. If you have an interactive flat panel that has an Android operating system, so when you go to your interactive flat panel and you're not connected to your computer and you're able to see the Google Play Store, you can do this today. You can install Jamboard on there today, and you will be able to use auto draw on your Jamboard, which is going to be really, really cool. All right, so I'm going to draw a tree that is going to probably most likely look like a piece of broccoli, but I'm going to try my best. So I drew a tree with my mouse, and now what I see at the top are all these different ideas of a tree. So I'm going to pick the one that looks most like the tree that I was trying to draw, and it's going to turn into that tree. So I could also try to draw a cat. And as I draw, I'm just going to keep on going, even though it's rough, even though it doesn't look great, because the more I draw, the more it's going to be able to guess what I'm trying to draw. So there's a cat. So this is auto draw, and this is what is built into the Android version of Jamboard. And that's one of the things that's so exciting for educators. The other thing that's so exciting is the ability not just to add images like you see here. So I can search for images and I'm going to be able to put this image right into my Jamboard, but the ability to connect to my Google Drive and put images right in here from my Google Drive. That's the thing that excites me. I can put a doc in here, I can put a slideshow in here, any file I have in my Google Drive, I can pop right into a Jamboard. And if my students are in here with me, if this is shared with them, and you can assign it through Google Classroom, then they will be able to see this right through Google Classroom and interact with it. And you have the information about who's doing what and when. Okay, so I've talked a blue streak. What questions do you guys have about Jamboard or any of the confusion I've caused today with not being able to show you it as an Android app? Jess, do you see anything in the chat?
I'm waiting.
Well, maybe I did a better job explaining than I thought. Go ahead, Cecil.
That something like the Jamboard would be best used, and like what would be a good example of like a use case for a specific type of class that a teacher would be kind of using this in, or could this be something that could be used across all different kind of classroom settings?
Good question. So let me repeat back what you said just in case they couldn't hear you. So the question Cecil asked was, what would be some educational use cases of this that teachers might enjoy, and what subject areas would they potentially use it in? Well, as you know, a lot of people are buying Chromebooks that have a stylus now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be great for math class. A lot of times math teachers tell us, I want to use technology, but it just doesn't make sense in my subject area. I mean, like it's not the best tool to do what I'm trying to do. So now if you have a stylus or a touchscreen Chromebook and your students can actually write out problems, this gives you a collaborative space to work with them on. So if you can assign this through Google Classroom and give students a collaborative space, they can make an infinite number of pages in here. You can add a problem here and have students work it, and you're going to be able to have that collaborative environment to kind of see everybody's thinking all at one time without taking up papers. So that's really exciting.
And Amy, we're seeing in the chat, they're asking if audio is something you can add to your Jamboard.
I think so. I'll have to experiment with that. I'm thinking if you want to try doing that and you're going to experiment with this later, then make sure that you are going to use the version that is the app. So try it on your phone. Okay, I just, for some reason, after all this time, it just popped up on my Chromebook. So I think I'm going to be able to interact with it now through the Chromebook and show you what I'm talking about finally. I can't say I'm not super thrilled about that because I am. All right, so I'm going to try now. On my Chromebook, I have it set to auto recognize the shape. So what I'm doing, I'm drawing a really rough shape, and what it's doing is transforming my rough shape into a perfect shape. I guess the Google gods are smiling on us again. I think we just got rewarded for sticking around all that time. So let me show you these other features now that you can finally see it, because I can do a lot better job. So here's another thing I think elementary school teachers are going to love. Learning to write in elementary school is really challenging. But it's also a lot of fun. Most kids like learning to write. And that's when I was talking about my goddaughter, Emma. So she loves to write her name over and over again, 10,000 times on the Jamboard. And if she does it fast enough, she's going to be able to see her name appear all as one word. Here's what happens to her. And this is an issue called fluency. So what happens is she doesn't have enough fluency to write the letters fast enough for them to appear on the Jamboard because she's new as a writer. But this is helping her, and it's a machine helping her instead of me saying, Emma, you have to learn to write your name faster, you know? You have to gain fluency, Emma. The computer is showing her, this isn't fast enough for me. You have to be able to do it faster. And let me show you auto draw here. It's so much more exciting than on the other device. So I'll draw my broccoli tree again. So when I draw my broccoli tree, you can see, well, you can't see the options, but all the options pop up at the bottom. And all I have to do is just tap one of them, and then it's going to appear on my screen. So I'll try to draw my, let's see, let me try to draw a dog this time. So I just keep on going. That's kind of the thing you need to know about it. Just keep on going until you've drawn enough that it can tell what you're getting at. So right now it thinks I'm trying to draw an owl. Okay, well, not that far off. I'll try not to be insulted by that. But it does make me feel a little better. It's not Jessica saying your dog looks like an owl. It's the computer.
No judgment.
Yeah, your dog. Yeah, there's no judgment here. Exactly. Okay, so let's look at that audio file question you had. And by the way, audio files can now be inserted into slides. Jessica put a video out about that last week. And is it on our YouTube channel, Jessica, or on our social media channels?
Social media channel.
On our social media channels and on our blog at our website. So if you go to our website and you look, actually, if you just type in friEdTech in your browser, then you'll go to our website. And if you look at the blog there, you'll see how to put audio files into slides. But let's try to see if we can answer your question about whether you can put audio files into a Jamboard, because I don't know the answer. So this plus symbol that I'm seeing on my one computer, I'll show you on here where it is. On my app, I see it right down here underneath this image. I see the plus symbol. And now in my ribbon, I see the Google Drive option, and I'm going to click that right now. And I don't expect you're going to see anything on your side, but I'm just going to describe to you what I'm seeing. So I'm going to look in my Google Drive for an MP3 and see if I can get anything to pop up that's an audio file. Or let me look for a WAV maybe. I don't think it's showing me those files. I'd have to do a little bit more experimentation, but I don't see those. But what I do see is Google slides. So let me show you what that looks like when I have popped in a Google Slides presentation, and I can move it around and my students will be able to access it. And that little thing is a little preview of all of the slides. Let me see if I can pull it out over here so that you can see it. This is really like almost breaking my brain to be doing this on 2 different computers like this. It's pretty crazy. And on my side, what I see is this presentation that I can then open up and scroll through and do all kinds of stuff with. And that is just that little representation of that Google Slides presentation that you're seeing on your side as just the viewer of this. And it's going to let me put in any file that I can find inside Google Drive of any file type. So I can put that sample essay that we were looking on earlier in there, and we can all interact with that. I want to know, are any of you guys who are watching today planning on having this turned on in your domain so that you can experiment with it? I'm curious if anybody's got any ideas about it that would make it worth it to you to get this turned on. So if you will answer that question for me when you get it, that would be great. There's a Google Doc that I've put in here that I can now access through this Jamboard, and all kinds of stuff. One thing that you are going to see on every device is the ability to make a sticky note, and that's pretty fun. So this is a sticky note. And it
I
has
like
some,
how the text kind of flies around sideways.
yeah, I was just going to say that same thing. Isn't that cool how it does that? I like how when you draw on here and then you erase something, it sends little like scraps down to the bottom. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I draw this scribble on here and then I decide I want to erase it, let me see, can I erase someone else's? Yes. So on my screen, when I erase, I see the pieces of this falling down to the bottom of my screen. I think maybe I'll see it if I do it over here. Let me try it. But then again, you know, there's so many features of this that are in the Play Store app, and I'm seeing it just fine in the Play Store app and you can't see it. But when I erase in the Play Store app, these pieces in a really satisfying way fall down to the bottom of the board. It's like what I wanted to happen in real life when I erased a board, but never did. But it happens now. So yeah, pretty cool.
Jody says they have it turned on for staff and they hope they can get it turned on for students.
Awesome.
So,
where's Jody? Does she say?
You know, I think Jody did tell us where she was from way at the beginning.
Oh, well, I don't want to make trouble for people. But you know what? I went to a lot of trouble to show y'all this Jamboard thing. So maybe I do want you to go to a lot of trouble and tell me again where you're from. I'm glad people are turning it on and sort of playing around with it. But honestly, I mean, I just didn't see a lot of use in it until I found out that you can put these Google Drive files in here. That gave me a reason to pursue this tool. And when I found out that you can use auto draw in here, that made me think it was worth it. So really pushing this out through the Google Play Store is going to give you a lot more functionality. I'm almost kind of scared people will try it now and they'll be like, well, there's nothing here. Like this is not relevant, when really it is if you just have the right version of it. But try it on your phone.
Jody's from the middle of Washington State, so she's joining us from way across the way.
Super cool. Thanks for joining today, Jody. Sorry we were disorganized today. We're just trying all kinds of new stuff, so that's why it's hard to be organized and try brand new things you've never done before. But you know.
And you already mentioned, Amy, that the Jamboard lives in the Google Drive now for the student who's accessing it.
I don't think I did say that, but that is an important thing to know. So when you create one of these Jamboards, it is going to be in your Google Drive. And if you have not noticed it before, unless it is turned off in your domain, if you go to drive.google.com, then you're going to actually be able to create Jamboards right from here. Just remember, what device you access them on really matters. You can make them. It doesn't matter where you make it. But when you go into your Google Drive, you're going to see them stored there. So there's the one we've been playing around with. And when you go to your colorful new button up there, you're actually going to see Jamboard as one of the options to create. And now I don't know, why am I not seeing it?
It's right there.
Okay, good. Apparently you see it. There you go, right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I can make a new one right from here, and it lives in my Google Drive. I can control the sharing settings on it, just like I can any other Google file. And I can get a shareable link for it. It also will have a code that I can give to people. And I can also assign it through Google Classroom, and it works just like any other assignment in Google Classroom. You can, control groups, have it only be worked on by 3 students or whatever. So you can make a bunch of them, and then make a copy for everyone, or just all the different things you can do with a regular assignment in Google Classroom are possible here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Was super stressed out, but I'm glad that you guys see the usefulness of it, because it's extremely stressful. So we actually have another webinar coming up today. If any of you guys are not finished learning, it's a webinar with our friends from Screencastify. It's tonight at 8 o'clock Central. And what we're going to be looking at is so exciting to me. And it is creating self-paced slides using Screencastify and Google Classroom. And slides, Classroom, and Screencastify. It's really, really a neat way to create a self-paced lesson for students. And also for students to create those potentially for each other. So that's a pretty cool use of that too. And I think you guys might like it if you like some of the stuff that we shared today. Does anyone have any final words or anything else that we should add? Anything cool you're doing with Jamboard that we should all know about?
We have found out that Fort Worth ISD does not have it turned on, but they are going to work on getting it turned on.
Oh, excellent. That's great.
Because Mr. Luis Fernandez is saying he is going to be working on it. So
cool. Thank you, Mr. Fernandez, for working on that. So we are going to be practically living in Fort Worth ISD this summer. So I'm super happy to hear that we'll have access to that, because we're working in Fort Worth this summer to build influencers throughout the district. So we're going to be having a series of tech influencer academies. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'd love to be able to use this tool to work with our tech influencers. That'd be really neat. All right, anyone have anything else to add before we sign off today? And my blood pressure goes back down again. All righty. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. If you want to learn more about the webinar we have coming up tonight, you can check out Screencastify's social media. Their Twitter channel has got a sign up link. I'm sure that ours does too. And we'll be pushing out information from that on our blog as well. So if you go to friEdTech and look at our blog, you will see the archive of that. But to sign up for the live thing and to get all the notifications and all that, go to Screencastify.com and take a look at that and get signed up. And you can also tweet us or message us on Facebook or any other platform, and we'll get back to you if you don't find those exact links that you want. So don't forget, you were here today to meet Cecil. I don't know if you were ever able to hear him or not, but he's such a charming guy. He's a former educator. He works for CDW. CDW sells hardware equipment, and the division he works in only sells to schools. So that's his area of expertise. So if you are looking for a partner and not just a sale, then Cecil is the guy to talk to make sure that you get the most out of what you're buying. And that's why CDW partners with us at friEdTechnology, so we can make sure that you know all the fun, cool stuff that the hardware you buy does in the classroom and how you can really use that in an educational way. And that's what we do. So thanks for joining today. Jessica, thank you for your help. Cecil, thank you for being here. And
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having us. And we will hopefully see some of you guys again tonight at 8. If you join us again, let us know. And we'll see you soon.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.